negatively impacting women across the world more than men.
Started after there were allegations of sexual assault by members of the parliament.
Today, they ban girls from going to school.
In one voice, the world declared, human rights are women's rights, and women's rights are human rights.
The women's movement of this world has mellowed. Our issues and our conversation has become issues for men.
From the moment of birth, young boys and girls are expected by society to play a specific role based on their gender.
May it be in private or in public, we are expected to act and behave and shape ourselves to fit into these gender roles.
And more often than not, this leads to unequal treatment towards the female gender.
Domestic violence, discrimination, sexual harassment, gender pay gaps, inequality, and unequal participation are some of the most notable issues that women are still facing. However, we must take further notice that these are not the only problems present up to this date.
Gender inequality has been present long before it was recognized as a problem.
There was a period where women were even thought of as less than a human. They had very little independence from their husbands. They were even considered to be weak socially, giving rise to the notion that women are to stay at home. Society had given them the roles of as the homekeepers for the home and as housewives for their families.
It was only in the 1920s that women in America had officially been given the rights as a citizen.
Arguably, the movement towards achieving gender equality only began in the mid-18th century, starting from the Western countries, spreading to the East, where women fought for their rights to vote. This marked the beginning of a continually growing movement, which brought attention and awareness towards the injustices and prejudices experienced by women all over the world.
Society has come a long way in recognizing women's rights and their value. However, there's still much more work to do. Everywhere in the world, women are still experiencing unequal treatment.
The practice of voting in various countries is still not being observed by many of their women, despite it being legalized, and in one country in particular, women have still yet to be given their voting rights. Furthermore, less girls are given primary school education as compared to boys, which results in them not being able to find high-income jobs, which leads to the next issue.
There isn't a place where there is no gender pay gap as well. Statistics show that in every country in the world, men are collectively paid more than women. In 2016, women's global income on average was only 54% of males. In addition, women do almost 3 times as much unpaid work as men, which includes cooking, cleaning, childcare, and the like.
Unfortunately, the current COVID-19 pandemic has only hindered the progress and development towards gender equality. Domestic violence has reportedly increased globally due to the lockdown and quarantine orders, making it unsafe for some women as they are left isolated with their abusers for a prolonged period of time.
From an economic standpoint,
Although there has also been a decrease in working hours for men, there have been more women who lost their jobs and businesses due to the effects of the pandemic.
Furthermore, it's crazy to think that the cases of gender inequality have reduced over the past few decades, much of which was possible because of the United Nations.
As the 5th Sustainable Development Goal discussed in the 2015 Global Summit,
Achieving gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls has become one of the target goals to be achieved by the year 2030.
Through the collective efforts of the United Nations and many other gender equality organizations, almost all countries have given women voting rights. Less girls are left uneducated. More and more women are entitled to leadership positions, and actions to close the gender wage gap are taking place.
Looking back, the movement towards women empowerment has definitely come a long way.
from their past of being branded as just houseworkers,
to now becoming bosses themselves. However,
despite all the recent progress towards achieving gender equality,
there's still much more to be done.
What we can do as individuals is to raise awareness and disembark on the prejudice that society instilled on women. There is no difference between men and women, and there are no gray areas where one cannot accomplish what the other can.
What the SDG wants is not to disrupt any power balance between the two genders, but rather to end all discriminatory ideas and societal norms that we had fostered in our minds.
Let us strive for a world where both men and women are recognized as equals and are treated as such. As Michelle Bachelet once said, gender equality must become a lived reality.